We've got lemon curd questions, questions about the sealing wax, and many more. Thanks for joining us today on Questions and Answers with James Townsend and Son. Kevin P's got a question. He says, is there much difference between this, and he's talking about the lemon cream and lemon curd. It looks very similar, though the curd is thicker like jam. Curd's still a popular filling for tarts in the UK. We looked at the recipes. I mean, it seems like the lemon cream is a sort of an ancestor to a lemon curd, but the recipes are a good bit different, at least in that there is typically something like butter in a modern lemon curd recipe, and this lemon cream didn't have anything in there like it. But from what I've tasted, this was maybe a little bit more lemony than lemon curd that I've had in the past, but still very, very similar. V.S. Shooter is commenting on the lemon cream, and he says, this is a variation of a recipe that has been in my wife's family for eons. It keeps very well in a sealed jar, wax paper under a jar lid, in the refrigerator for over a year. Drizzle it on plain yellow cake or pound cake, and he goes on with a place you could find a recipe. Yeah, this stuff is, even though it's really good by itself, it's really, really good in combination with other things like the donuts we did here, and on the cake. Sounds like a wonderful cake topping. So yeah, if you get a chance to try it out, you'll enjoy it. Balanced, healthy living. That's you, Casey. Okay. I now am feeling hungry for that lemon cream. Just curious, when do you plan on opening a restaurant? I think it would be a hit. Whoa, that sounds like way too much work for me. I'm just going to stick with the videos. E. Yorbach, and she's answering the question that I had way back in the nettle soup and suet question and answer, where I asked about egg substitutes. And I thought this was really interesting. She says, in replacing eggs, it all depends on the reason or reasons why the eggs are in the recipe in the first place, whether it's for richness, flavor, thickening, binding, rising, or moisture. Different substitutes will do different things. And she goes on to make a suggestion for the vermicelli pudding recipe specifically. And I thought that was a real good thought. How it really depends what you want to substitute those eggs for, is why the egg is in there in the first place. J.J. Akers is commenting on the how to use sealing wax video, and he says, I've always wondered if the seals would unseal naturally just from heat and humidity. And if back in the 18th century, if that was a problem for certain carriers, if the receiver would think that the carrier had opened the letter. So the real question is what sealing wax is, and I don't think most people really know what sealing wax was in the 18th century. We think, we hear the word wax and we think candle wax or something similar. Sealing wax is nothing like that. It's actually mostly, it's like really thickened shellac and resin. It's really hard, and it sticks to the paper really, really well, and it's thick and brittle. So somebody also had a question about whether it would work in the mail today. No, it would get broken up in the machines and make a mess. This stuff is really good for telling whether the letter has been opened, because it's so difficult to break open. You have to break the seal, and you can't reform it very easily. Kyle Green's got a question and a comment about reenacting in general. He says, I'm 16 and I've been reenacting since I was 4 with my dad and sisters. I have so much fun doing French and Indian War events, but recently started Rev War reenacting as well and joined the King's Rangers. It's always been a great family experience. Kyle, thank you so much for this story and this reaffirmation of growing up and reenacting. I know I had fun. I know it's a great family activity. Thanks you so much for this comment. He goes on and asks what events we do. We don't go to very many events. We're so busy here making neat stuff and filling orders and making videos that we only do about 3 events in the year. Right now we go to Kalamazoo in the spring, and a couple of local events, Feast of the Hunter's Moon and down in Lafayette in the fall, and the 1812 event at Mrs. Sinawa in the fall also. So we don't get to do very many events. And so the last comment or question here is from, it's going to be tough, I'll probably get it wrong, Yakidyada Mirzara. I don't know if I got that right. But he says, a crock pot? Really? Really? He's commenting on the bone broth episode where we used a crock pot instead of cooking the bone broth in an 18th century method. We're using a slow cooker in some of these recipes for a reason, because almost all these things are prepared ahead of time. If you're going to an historical event, you're going to use the finished product. You're not going to show it at the event. And it also makes it so much easier for someone who doesn't have the equipment. We really want to give everyone the opportunity to enjoy these recipes, and that's why we're using a piece of modern equipment in this particular instance. Again, with the slow cooker, we're actually in a couple of weeks, we're going to do an episode on portable soup, and we're going to bring out the slow cooker again because it really makes it easy, and that is it's one of those things you just really need to do ahead of time and bring that finished product to the event. I want to thank everyone, especially you guys out there that are sharing the videos. That is so helpful. I really enjoy the comments, so wonderful comments, and your great questions. Make sure to keep those coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a new viewer and you haven't subscribed, press the subscribe button up here. That'll take you to a spot where you can subscribe. That really is the best way to get notification of all the new videos that are out. I want to thank everyone for watching.